special event alert.
So, like, my female
Overcoming.
cat was having kittens. And I had to stay. She was having kittens.
Oh,
Which is excuse number 127 for being late for Changeover, your weekly space news and variety show. I'm your host,
Cat
Marty Schmidt,
laser.
and I'm rejoined by our man in the closet, Jake Wall.
oh man, it's good to see you guys.
Mr. History, Eric Perrott,
Awesome to be back. I'm happy about that.
and our puzzle princess, Anna Mondragon.
Hello.
We're here to bring you the latest headlines and updates pertinent to all Guardians and to the other lesser branches as well. So take your seats, get informed, and have a laugh as we present Late for Changeover. Take your seat. Take your seat.
I'm impressed with the
crew is
sound effects
back.
board you got there.
Oh, I've got 3 sound effects, so that's it. and one of them I'm always late on, so you know. Yeah, it's just one. Yeah, that's it.
Just happens.
All right.
It's good to see you all back from the world travels, from the home
Yeah.
improvement. God, we missed you. That was a tough one because when we did, Anna was gone. Anna, you've been gone for like 3 or 4 weeks. That was
I have
weird.
like a month.
Yeah.
Tuesdays
And
were-
really, you have a different excuse for each one of them. You should have used your
Valid.
realistic. You should have used your realistic
Valid.
excuse
It's a
from last
valid
week.
excuse.
No, I agree. You should have used that one from last week.
You should start writing them down and using them for excuse ideas.
I know.
I would have
Yeah,
gotten
being late for
orders
changeover.
that.
It was late because of a colonoscopy.
I know. It
What
happened.
colonoscopy ran
1,000
long.
years old.
I started it way too late in the day. I should have known shift change was coming, but you know,
I was well
I'm on a
hydrated.
cleanse.
once they enter, you can't stop. You know.
Mm.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about it. Jake, you went over to Australia, right?
Yeah, we went down to
I've
Adelaide.
never been to Australia.
Oh
Nor
yeah,
have I.
that's nice, man.
So
Yeah, I've been twice,
wow.
in a couple of different cities in Australia. So
How far is the longest leg of the flight that you had to go through?
San Fran to Sydney, and that was like
Oh God.
15 hours.
Oh my God.
That sounds
Yeah,
tough.
it's like it sucks. It's rough.
That's like you can get drunk, you can
Oh.
pass out, you can
Wake
wake up, and you're
Be
still
hungover.
not- Be
And
hungover.
start drinking again.
Yeah,
Have some hair of the dog.
that's
And you're-
exactly what I did the first time I flew out
Oh
there.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was harassing the freaking steward, and we were right by the galley, and he
Right.
was Australian. And then he would walk by, he would pick up a beer on my table. He's like, "You're not gonna make it in Australia," and he would walk fucking away. I'm like, "Oh shit!" And
Judgy.
then he would
Whoa.
walk back, and he dropped off another beer, and he would just do this the whole time. Every time he would come out of that galley, he was swapping out beers.
He told you you're not gonna make
Oh.
it.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
yeah. We were bullshitting before that, so. And I mean, he's like, "Nah, you're not gonna make it."
That's great. So
Yep.
smart.
And I got drunk and then passed out and then woke up hungover.
Wow.
All that.
And still
It
had
was
like what 3-4 more
2 hours, enough time to pick out a movie to watch it.
Uh,
I
Oh
watched-
man.
On the way home, I watched the entire first season of This Is Us.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like
And then
that
had
series.
I still had time
Zombies.
for a nap and another movie.
Oh my God. That's
I'm not
insane.
playing.
That's
I slept for
insane.
3 hours, watched the whole season of This Is Us, then watched Shaun of the
Wow.
Dead.
Oh,
Wow.
All
nice.
on that one
to finish that
horrible
up.
flight.
Yeah.
What airline did you fly on, Jake?
We went United, so
Did you?
it got me from like
United's pretty good.
pewter status
Oh,
all the way up to gold right off the bat.
nice.
So
Boom.
yeah, hell yeah.
Tell us about Anzac
Oh.
Anzac Day.
Oh, Anzac Day. So that's
Day.
celebration
Anzac
of
Day.
like basically their Memorial Day, and
That's it, right? That's their Anzac.
that's it. And it's a
Memorial?
big deal because they lost a lot of people in World War One.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
and
the
they were-
Pacific campaign. Yeah.
No,
Sure.
they were fighting in the Turkish area,
Yep.
and
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
and so it's New Zealand, Australia, New Zealand, something Anzac.
Yeah.
But they on the inside you could see all the people that had died, what division, what corps, everything.
Oh, wow.
I got another picture I took just for Eric, and there was a camel corps in there in the Africa campaign area. I was like, oh shit! I took a picture
There's
of all
Doug.
the people. Camel
Douglas
corps.
the camel. Douglas
Douglas
the
the
camel.
camel.
You know, I was like, there was no Douglas. I checked. I'm pretty sure it's stolen valor.
Nice.
Hey, is that an angel inside, like a large guardian angel?
That
So
is.
So that's on the inside, but you can go inside that pillar. And on
Oh,
the inside
really?
of that
It's
pillar,
that big? Holy cow.
yeah, it's massive. And so on the inside of that pillar, you could stand in there and look at every wall was
Wow.
covered with the lists of all the people.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
so
really
Yeah, I
it's
saw the
crazy.
pictures you sent of it. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
This
So
is the
that-
picture.
We did that, and then we did there was a parade. Oh, they held a full 2 minutes of silence at the dawn memorial. So
Oh, at the beginning of the day or something?
at the beginning of the day, there was a whole celebration, and everybody was dropping off wreaths, and that there was even so there's so much respect between the Turks and the Aussies and New Zealanders
I had
because
no
they
idea.
just killed the shit out of each other. So like to this day,
What?
they're a Turkish ambassador to this day sends an envoy out there.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, it's that level of respect.
What were the
Just
You know,
saying,
there's,
like, I'm sorry, and I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry, and
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and like
All
you were a noble enemy.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Mel
So
Gibson
there
movie,
was-
man, that did it.
What Mel Gibson
yeah?
movie?
Mel Gibson there was a Mel Gibson movie that showed the battle. I can't remember the name of the battle. Them fighting the Turks. I'm looking for the title of it right now.
Mel
Prince.
Gibson?
Yeah, he's a real young guy, and he's a courier for the Aussies.
Is this when
Oh,
Mel
nice.
Gibson was faking like he was Australian at the beginning of his career?
Correct.
Everybody thought he was Australian, right? It was like, oh. And then you find out later, it's like, no, this guy's from New York. And you're like,
It's from freaking San Bernardino. What the
is he
fuck?
really San Bernardino?
No, I don't know. That sounded the most generic of all.
Yeah, that's good.
So that
San
2 minutes, is it
Bernardino?
like absolute silence?
Yeah, it
That's
was
long.
not
That's
playing.
long. Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
done 2 minutes
Wow.
and
There's got to be
solid.
thousands of people there.
There was like a couple. It was flowing into the streets. They had all the streets blocked off.
That's really cool.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
That's really
two
cool.
solid minutes, and then the bugle broke it,
Oh,
and then
it's heartbreaking,
there-
man. That's
yeah, I was
somber.
like, oh, geez, man, 2 minutes is
Yeah.
a long time.
Yeah, I got one last question. Is that the one with the flower? Everybody wears that.
No,
Red
that's
Pink
Canadians.
The poppies
Yeah.
are British and Canadian. Well, they just symbolize like a memorial thing because poppies grow on the fields
That's
of battle.
Flanders Field or whatever that poem
Yeah.
is, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah, they. I do dig that they all of them do that tradition. So,
It was
that's
really
pretty
cool because I was asking the guys, the students, and I was talking to them. I'm like, so some of them, they had medals all over their whatever shirt they were wearing. You can actually hang your medal rack on your sport coat or whatever.
Oh,
Oh,
and so,
that's
or your
cool.
blouse or whatever, you can just put it on your hoodie. And
Yeah.
on one side, it meant that you served, and then if you wore it on the other side, it was
representing.
it was your relations that served.
oh, okay. Yeah, that's
So
cool.
some people had double,
I like that.
you know. I was like this, yeah. So
Yeah, I did,
you're-
and
if
my
you're-
dad did. or
yeah, my
something like
dad
that.
did, you know.
Yeah.
Then this is his rack.
That's a cool
So,
tradition.
It was
I
a
like
cool way because you might not have served, but you could still see like the generations
that.
of people that were all involved in that war.
Why don't
you know?
we do something like that? That's
Like,
that's
there was-
really good. I like it.
Yeah, it was cool.
Okay, so the name of the movie is Gallipoli
Oh,
that's-
yep. Yeah.
that's the
that
big
makes sense.
battle
The name of the
with Mel
battle.
Gibson.
What year was that movie?
1981.
Wow.
Wow, Mel Gibson, you're
Right
old.
before he became Martin Riggs. Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Ooh, nice.
Pretty good movie, man. Pretty good movie.
Jake, you went out there for a couple of weeks. You were instructing for your job.
Yeah, it
And-
was just a work trip. So it was a good time.
Yeah, well, we missed
Lucky.
it. That's a hell of a good work trip.
Yeah.
I know.
I can't complain. And we did
I
get
know.
that 3-day weekend. So that was cool.
That's fantastic.
So, yeah.
I heard somebody join. Who the hell is joining us?
Eric died.
Eric's finger is like really large.
Wait.
Yeah, he froze
Now
up.
I'm confused. I heard a bop. Oh well, maybe they're not here.
Yeah.
Oh, Eric dropped.
Yes.
But Eric,
what we
how are
said.
you
Eric
on to
died.
what the F?
I got knocked off my phone.
How in the hell were you able to do that? That was really cool. Okay. Well, good, because now it's your turn, Eric. Where did you go?
Well, we took a nice little vacation. Spain, Italy, and France.
Eric, you are
Very cool.
overblowing us with your audio. It is so loud.
Is
My
it?
bad.
Crazy loud.
Let me just talk a little softer.
It's
Talking a little softer.
I mean,
Yeah.
whatever that mic
Enough.
is on your
Use your
phone, it's
indoor
super
voice, Eric.
sensitive, so.
This is terrible.
Right,
This is
yeah.
absolutely terrible. We flew into Barcelona, Spain. Spent 2 days in
Barcelona?
Barcelona. And then we took a cruise over to Naples,
Nice.
Rome,
Wow.
Mallorca,
Wow.
and Cannes, France, where the actual film festival was. It was awesome.
Nice.
Hey, Anna, you know how to make a Mallorca?
Mallorca.
No.
Mad.
I don't know.
Oh,
That's ain't it.
horrible.
I wish I had an answer for that.
Yeah.
How
There
long?
would
What? 2 weeks, Eric?
Yeah, 9-day cruise, 2 days in Barcelona. We walked the entire city. It was awesome.
That is
So-
awesome, man.
Did what cruise line did you use, like Viking or whatever?
No, this was Norwegian.
Norwegian. I hear that one's
Norwegian.
nice too.
Have you
Guys,
done those cruises before? You did
Yeah,
that a couple of years ago, didn't you?
Yeah,
You
we did
the
Alaska.
river cruise, right?
We did the Viking River cruise. Yeah.
That's what it was.
That's awesome.
I
I'd
want
love
to
to
do
that.
that.
Yeah. me
You
too.
guys check this out on Norwegian now. They have a military program. So all the retired vets, they do a night where they send orders to your stateroom, and they invite you and your spouse or whoever you're with to a wine and dine strictly for vets that are on the board, U.S. vets.
Oh
Wow,
wow.
nice.
They give you a coin, a picture, and a patch. It's pretty neat.
No
There you
way.
That is cool.
Yeah, we had a great time.
Hold on a second. Here
What'd you think of,
is one
Barcelona?
of Eric's late for
Oh.
changeover pictures.
That's at the Terrestri Falls. What are they? Where you flip the coin into the water?
Fountain of
Trieste.
Oh, it is.
The
Oh
fountain?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's in Rome.
Italy.
Nice.
Look at that late for changeover patch traveling all. Oh, I got to send you one, Anna. I know. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Well, I haven't really gone anywhere.
Well, you could have. Well, you can be next with your barn. You could
yeah. You like take a picture in front of
bend
you.
over and show.
Concrete. Like,
What?
Look at this.
Barn dance, late for
Yeah,
changeover.
exactly.
There you go. That
Late
sounds
for
beautiful.
changers.
That's
Always ready for a hoedown.
that was in Rome.
Yes, sir. Rome. It
I
was.
like that bubble.
We toured the Colosseum. Amazing. Colosseum was packed full of people too. But what an amazing
Yeah, sure.
historic place, man.
Oh,
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
That's cool.
Did y'all drive over there? You didn't drive over there.
No, we took a personal
Yeah.
tour. My wife set up a bunch of excursions for us, In
Very
Ibiza, we
nice.
rode ATVs all over the island. That was really cool.
No way.
Yeah, it was fun.
Well,
Marty's jealous now.
I think it's
Where's
called
my orca?
Ibiza.
It's part of Spain. It's another island off the mainland.
You don't know where your orca is? I know where
I
mine
know
is.
Lose
spell
it again?
which is weird. It's MALLORCO
Maldives?
or something like Mallorca, like that.
Alma
And-
Mallorca is what it's called.
Hyphen ORCA.
Oh, there's
you
a
go.
Y, not an LL. Shut up.
My orca.
Now I'm gonna Google it.
I know where my orca is. Do you know where
I'm
you
not.
When we
I'm
were
a
in Mallorca,
responsible parent.
we went out on a
Fuck.
sailboat
You know
all
where
day,
my
man.
orca is?
Oh, wow. No kidding.
That's
Yeah.
Oh, it's MAJ.
Majorca.
Is that what you said, Dum Dum? I didn't know you said that, Jake.
No, he was making it up. And he
Oh.
was way off.
I'll send you guys some pictures after the show tonight.
It is MALLORCA.
That's
It
right.
is. Oh,
Eric's been
Jake
trying-
was right. Jake
Eric's,
was right.
Eric's been trying to tell this story the whole time. And we're
All
just
right.
fucking around.
Honest, just she's
You
short
win this-
circuiting
I
everything.
gotta win the spelling bee. Anyway. My orca looks
On
beautiful.
I had a hyphen in there, so mine was not correct.
Well, I tell you, thanks for bringing the patch
I
to
think you guys-
both of those places. That's awesome. I mean, it went all the way around the world. That's really cool.
Yeah, no doubt.
Where
And it's
is
just
it?
because we're all jealous of you because you went for pleasure. And it was like, oh, man, what a dream vacation, man.
Wait, where in
Driving
France?
ATVs in Ibiza. Wow.
Ibiza. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Ibiza.
Naked beaches everywhere in Ibiza, man. Everywhere.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean there's
Nice.
supermodels on the naked beaches, right?
In Ibiza, it does.
Oh.
Oh.
Why did you
I
say
highly
that?
recommend it.
And a trip to Ibiza.
You should have gave. I should have gave you
It
two
was so
patches. You're
fun.
like,
You should have. Yeah, you
hold
should have
these
led with
patches
that.
right here, and let me take a picture.
It was crazy.
Oh man, did you guys partake?
That picture
have.
would have been. That
Oh.
picture would have been one of the reasons. The reason 127. I was late for change.
Oh heck
that picture
yeah!
was in the back.
Ibiza.
I couldn't get off the
I would've been
Mr.
there.
History OnlyFans. Look at
Yeah.
these, man.
Heck yeah.
Eric, did you make it weird? Like you just.
Well, but they
I
had
did
the,
not. One
they
of
had
my
the
friends
love
did.
the big American out there, right? Take it off, you know.
No,
Yeah.
I'm
What did your
62,
friend-
man.
What did your friend do to make it weird?
Ran around pulling his pants down in front of everybody. Dumbass.
Wait, he ran around pulling his pants down to a nude beach?
Yeah.
That's
Why didn't you
even
just pull
worse
them off?
than just
Yeah.
nuding up.
Yeah, you should just pulled them up. Now he's a
Because he was just
psychopath.
trying to make a statement, you know.
That's
It would have
awesome.
been fun to watch some dude, like older man, run down. Woo!
I'll send y'all some pictures after the show.
Oh my god. Well, I don't quite have the stature of two of those trips, so I just went to Panama City, Florida.
Panama
Wonderful.
Yeah.
City,
That's a
Florida, though,
Yeah,
is
it's
beautiful.
beautiful.
Ibiza.
For forever, I was like, why do they call this the Emerald Coast? I couldn't figure it out. And it was like, oh, because this is quartz that got ground up, and that's why the beaches are so white
Green.
and stuff. I was like, yeah, that doesn't explain anything about emerald, right? But the water's so green. It's great. It's so nice. It's like bath water too. That Gulf water, it's great. So
Beautiful,
good.
beautiful.
So are
So
you
my
moving
picture-
there, Marty? Are
So
you
my
moving?
picture? Maybe, but that's my picture. But it wasn't even the Margaritaville that we went to go visit, because Margaritaville has like several different things. So we went
Oh,
to Margaritaville, Panama City Beach, the retirement community, but they also have all these houses that you can rent, and that's their beach cottage resort. So Jimmy Buffett, God rest his soul, is really parlaying Margaritaville, a song I got so sick of because I heard it so much,
I
into
like
cheese.
all these properties, right? It's awesome. It's really cool.
Do they have margaritas in each of them?
Each one of them. Absolutely, they do.
Are you kidding me? You're serious. Were they
They're
virgin?
good. You know what the no?
Mocktails?
You know what the dog park is named?
I'm afraid that.
Barkeritaville.
Barkeritaville.
Barkeritaville. I was like, yes. If you're gonna go all the way, right? So, but it was fun. It was nice. It was we bought a property down there, so we're gonna see what happens over the next year. So
That's awesome.
Marty's getting a 10. Marty's getting a 10.
Dude, if you move down there, I'll be seeing you down in Florida. I'm telling you, I'll be in North Florida a lot too.
I don't know. My community's gated, so it might not let any big nudist cops in. You know what I mean? I'd be like, let's keep that guy out.
They don't
I
support the
understand.
semi-nude community.
Keep the riffraff out,
Anna,
man.
you had a good week off too, right?
I
Or a
did
couple
a
weeks
few
off.
weeks off.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was good.
So-
I was responsible. I did all my responsible things.
Anna sent us a picture. You want to see Anna's picture?
Heck yeah.
So, Anna had a colonoscopy.
Please don't. I did
This
not
was a-
send you a picture of that.
This was the results of her colonoscopy.
Please.
Look at that. Look what's in there. Man. It's
Who
just
is
a
up on that
party.
bar?
It's a party inside.
You go, girl.
Inside the colonoscopy place? Who is that, by the way?
I don't know. It's someplace in San Angelo. Thought you'd
yeah.
recognize it.
Nice.
It was either this picture or the ones with the Tejano Day with the big dresses. I thought that might be funny, but see, it's funny because this is supposed to be your colon, Anna, and this is what's happening in your colon.
Oh, all
That's
the
why it's funny.
excitement
All the excitement in there. Look at
and rumbles.
You got a live band.
You should have had rumbles like running through.
It's funny because it's all
Huge party.
It was funny in my head.
Sucks, man.
It was
At
not,
3 a.m. and
You
you're
don't
having
understand
all
why it's
those
funny.
skills,
because it's
And then
social
within, like,
engineering.
30 minutes-
You wouldn't get it.
it's like, dang.
But anyway, you got you improved your barn, right?
We did. We're getting concrete on Friday. I didn't realize. Did you guys realize how much work there is in laying concrete? Holy good.
Just
Well,
So
it's
we did
mostly,
all-
it's mostly
Slather it down.
prep work, right? The prep
We
work
did
is a
all the
pain in
prep
the
work.
ass.
That's
Yeah,
all.
that's
we
a
Oh,
big
you
deal.
did?
Yeah, like
Yeah, that
tampering.
sucks.
I've never knew you had to tamper
Yeah.
dirt.
Oh yeah,
And then dirt is so expensive. Like, why the? It's dirt.
Right.
And you're charging me
know.
for your dirt.
Right.
Did
Right.
you wire all the crossbars together and everything and do all that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
all
Did you
of
go
that.
rebar in there too? The
No.
bars, all the rebar.
No, it's
no rebar.
bar.
It's gonna crack on
We
you.
do have a drain.
A what?
A drain.
Drain.
Oh, a drain. Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it's a lot of work. I didn't realize how much work.
Yeah, it sucks. It
Nice.
sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, my
Looks-
brother-in-law does that. And so
It's gonna
he
look
did
good.
it for the last
That's
3 days.
back-breaking, but it's so nice when it's done. Yeah, it's so
It's true.
nice. All right. God, we've been talking about
Yeah.
That's it. Thanks.
And that's it.
Thanks for
That
coming.
was a good show,
Bye,
just
guys.
to catch up of what's going on.
So I thought we'd have a little discussion because I saw Juan, and Juan put a post out on LinkedIn. So I know what Juan's bucking for, but he's posting a lot on LinkedIn, like deep thought kind of stuff, right?
Oh,
Oh.
So he goes, "Oh, I had a sergeant who told me either prepare for your next promotion or prepare to get out."
Oh,
And when I read that, I was like, "Okay, that's good advice." But at the same time, it's like, am I not getting the next promotion, so I should be prepared to get out? What are you trying to tell me, Sarge? Right? But then it started going through, and I was like, I wonder if we could do like a little series, like a series like things I never learned from TAP class, right?
Transition.
that.
Yeah.
Things I never
assistant.
learned from TAP, right? I remember when I went through TAP, I was like, oh, they'll hook me up with contacts. They'll tell me how to do it.
What's TAP?
Maybe. Didn't you go through TAP?
The
never walked through the tap
transition
class?
assistance
Transition
program.
assistance
I'm just
program. Yeah.
No,
It's for people. It's for people that are retiring. You're required to take that class before you retire, and it's like a good 6 months. I think you can take it up to a
You're
year.
supposed to
take it
do
up to a year
before,
Yeah.
and then like 6 months.
Did you go
before.
through TAP, Eric?
I was being
I did.
smart.
I know. We
I was
know.
being sarcastic.
I know.
Yes, I did. It was like 3 days back then.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, it was
a
3 or 4
week
days.
maybe.
Yeah,
The thing I hated from TAP class was the guy they had brought in to teach. He wasn't military, right?
No.
And this guy was all dynamic. You know, he was like, "Hey, you got a network. You got a network." And I was like, you know, for 20 years, my mind was just like, you know, do this job. I didn't think about the future. I'm a horrible preparer.
Oh yeah.
So, but when I finally did decide, I was like, oh, okay. You know, everybody goes, you know, everybody, it'd be easy for you to get a job. What a lie that was. You know, yes, you know people, but unless the company is actually looking for people, you get nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing,
Oh, that's fair. Do they have any openings or whatever it's called?
Yeah. Yeah. And they're like, oh, I'll take your resume. And I'm like, oh, great. That'll be like next week, right? And they're like, yeah, we're not really hiring right now, but we'll keep it on tap. And I'm like, fuck, right? So I think the thing I never learned from tap was the most of the jobs I've gotten since I've retired have been because of people I knew already in the company. And they're like, oh, don't worry, I'll hook you up. Right.
Yep.
And I hate to say that, but that's the networking. Yeah. You know, it's not like, oh, I'll pass your resume to here and here and here, which is what I thought it was. I was like, oh, great. But it was more like, I am in, we have an opening. Can you go? I'll take your resume and I'll get the bonus for hiring you. I was like,
boom.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah,
which is super awesome though.
I know.
That's the networking that's gotten me all my jobs.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And that's the harsh. I think that's the harsh reality. It's like you can put all this effort into your resume,
or LinkedIn.
But if they hire you blind without knowing you, you know what? Here's the other one. I'll let you guys go. Here was the other reality of it, right? If you see a job opening, it's probably already been filled.
It potentially, yeah.
Yeah, they just put it out there because they have to put it out there.
Unless there's a big couple of hires.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully for the company, they have somebody in mind.
Well, sure. They want to hire from within. Right.
Yeah. Or they get resumes and they'll be like, hey, you ever heard of this person? And will be like, oh yeah, I've heard of them. They're good. Or
have you ever has ever somebody come across you and they're like, hey Jake, what do you think of this guy? And you go, don't hire that guy.
Not me, but I've actively seen other coworkers.
Oh,
I didn't have the opportunity. I was like, I never worked with that person, but this person might have. Yeah. And they were like, oh, you talking about that? Yeah. Nope.
No.
Sucks,
and I've seen people be reassessed like, hey, this resume looks pretty good. And then they field it around the office. You're like,
I knew that guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you got somebody else,
both ways too. So that type of networking, if you're a cool dude, if you're work and you're ops savvy and that kind of stuff,
right? That
kind of networking works the best.
You have to know the one person that can get your foot in the door. Period.
Sure.
Yep.
Period.
Yeah. And don't be a dick before you get out.
That's exactly it.
Don't be a dick in general. Just be a nice person.
Yeah.
But that follows you more than you think, man.
Yeah, it does.
Crazy how many people talk to each other,
Yeah.
I don't know. What's the biggest revelation when you got out of TAP, Anna?
Me?
Yeah. Because you were hired right away, though, right?
I did. I was lucky. What did I not? I wish that TAP followed you in your career. So maybe at a 5-year point, everybody should go through TAP. Because I kind of feel like at the end of your career,
That's a good
Yeah.
idea.
That's a
Yeah.
good
you are
idea.
incredibly
And your
like,
final enlistment or something
It's
like
too
that.
late
Yeah,
at the
something
end of
like
your
that.
career, right?
Yeah.
yeah, it is too late. So
Yeah.
that's I don't feel like I really learned much out of TAP other than how to file a disability claim, but they have people that kind of walk you through it anyway. So it's
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That makes
Eric,
a lot of sense.
what'd you get out of TAP? Or what did you learn? What did you wish they had told you in TAP?
Oh, I think definitely going back to what Anna said, having to do it earlier, because
That's really
at the
cool.
last
That's
minute,
a good idea. Yeah.
at the last minute, I got nothing from it. I got that white book where you're supposed to fill in shit, what are stressors? How do you
Oh,
relieve the
yeah.
stress?
Yeah.
What are
Right.
your goals? And I'm like, this is just corny.
yeah, when
So
they
I-
said, what
Oh,
is
you
your
know what?
stress
That's interesting because
right now?
that's like the previous generation's like version. So it did kind of get better before we
I hope
retired.
so.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that man, they were going around the room and some people were like scared of retiring.
That was
Sure.
me. So
Yeah,
honestly, Jake, that was me. I think
Yeah.
I could have retired at least 2 years earlier than when I did, but I was too. So I blamed it on, hey, I said I would do a 4-year, stint with this organization,
Right.
Yeah.
but that was a super lame excuse because ultimately I was nervous. Like that's
Yeah.
all I did since
Yeah.
I was 18. So like
Yeah.
in my mind, I was like, holy goodness, I don't even know how to spell contract. I didn't pay attention to
No,
how
that's true.
Lockheed
And
Martin and Raytheon did their stuff.
it would have been nice to have not a general TAP class, but maybe a more specified TAP class. You know what I mean? Like if for us in space, maybe we could have had, hey, if you want to stay in space, and this is the other lie, I think. It's not that they said it, but it's what you believe is like, hey, if you want to do something else, you could do anything you want. And it's like,
Yeah.
you really can't. Your skills are pretty limited after a career in the military. So
That is a fact.
let's have a reality check. Your security clearance is your biggest skill right now.
Yeah, that's true.
At this
Right.
Yeah.
That
Security
is
clearance
Really?
and
Yep,
and
that's it.
some specialized career fields.
Right.
But generic.
Eric,
get out,
you-
like,
Eric, you got out of security forces and you went. Did you go
Security.
straight into security or did you do something else first?
No, I was straight security, straight in. Yeah.
Is that
So
just
it-
because you knew people or is that what you were comfortable with?
Well, remember, I was supposed to be the cable and antenna maintenance specialist, and they wouldn't take me. It wouldn't take me right away, and so I didn't want to wait. So they offered me
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
security, and I took. Oh, we can take you right now, and I said, let's go. So
We
I took
need a
security.
job. Yeah,
Need a job. Let's go.
Yeah,
Needed to get out of Florida, man.
yeah. So, well, let's keep this running. I'll keep a tab of this stuff and let's keep it running. Maybe we can help some of these young kids, getting out.
Well, and I truly believe what you also said too was you've got to have someone who understands what the purpose of TAP is. If you've got some kind of, speaker who is just trying to be all motivational for you, that doesn't work. He needs to understand where we came from, what our background was, what we went through. So I think that's important.
Yeah. I think TAP is too generalized. I mean, this guy was like, "Hey, everyone, stand up. Let's pretend you're online at the grocery store. Just turn around and start talking to the guy behind you. That's how you network."
Do that?
And I was
That
like,
is so
"What?
dumb.
I'm not going to talk to a stranger at the grocery store. It's like, hey, can you get me a job?" He'd
With
be
your
like, "Get out of
elevator
here,
pitch."
freak."
Hi, I'm unemployed and in the line in front of you. Is there any way you could help me pay for these groceries?
That's
I
right.
only have cash and not card, or vice versa.
Well, and the other thing too, guys, is most of us, if you think about it, when we separated from the military, we automatically started looking for positions that required a security clearance
Sure.
and required some other kind of transitional job because of the clearance.
Right.
Contracts, military contracts, how they work would have been really a nice topic.
Yeah. If
On
somebody
this,
Understand how that applies.
explained,
Yeah,
hey,
that
this
would've been a
stuff
good
can get you into jail. Stay away from this stuff. Don't do this.
Yeah,
Seriously.
maybe you don't do that,
I've
but
never
okay.
had a job interview.
I
Where
don't know
they're
where
like,
she was in.
don't do this or you'll go to jail.
I'm not going to jail. No, I'm saying to keep you out of jail. Because some of the
Yeah,
things,
that's good.
like,
Yeah, that's true.
I heard what Marty
I
went
guess-
through. I'm definitely not going to jail.
I didn't pay attention to like proprietary or any of that when I was.
Oh
in the
yeah,
military.
NDA stuff or anything like that, right?
Yeah,
right,
because
right.
it wasn't
Yeah.
a part of my world.
No. Yeah, it's weird. It was a difference. So I don't know. If you think of some stuff, let's just run a running series here, and maybe somebody young will be like, "Oh shit, TAP doesn't really help me." Like, nope, no, it
Not
doesn't.
really.
I like
All
Eric's
right.
idea.
I do
It
too.
threw some
Contract
good stuff at me, but then I was
education.
like, all right.
Yeah, I and plus because it was TAP, nobody wanted to go to TAP. You know, so I didn't. I turned it off.
I did.
Dude, I've seen people go to TAP like 3 times because they don't like their unit. They're like, I'm going at the 1 year mark. I'm going at the 9-month mark. I'm going at the 3-month mark.
Because they kept tasking me. I kept working. And I was like, guys, I'm retiring. You realize
Hello,
that? Like,
TAP.
She'll do
happening?
it. She'll do it. All right, let's do a couple news stories, shall we?
Hey now.
So I was trying to look for alternate sources for news. All right.
Oh, here we
I
go.
got a couple though. I got a couple.
This is how we go to county.
Ibiza.
Ibiza. I learned that from Batman. Ibiza.
Don't take your clothes. You're good to go.
Nice.
God, unless you
get
want to flash
10
people. Right?
In the no-no zone.
Well, you
Remember,
guys
kids,
should know
it burns
Ibiza is
too.
really, really big for celebrities and models
Yeah.
doing
right.
model shoots on the beach
Ooh.
and celebrity partying. So it's a huge nightlife in Ibiza.
Really?
Huge nightlife. Yeah.
Did you go to any by like accident? Did you just stumble in or like?
No, I had to get back on a cruise ship that left at the end of the day.
Here, boys.
I remember when I was stationed in Schofield, I had some friends who had rented a house up on North Shore of Oahu, and they would call all their friends and are like, they're doing a magazine shoot, and we would go up there all on the deck with like big binoculars and watch these models. Watch these models do these photo shoots. It's great.
There you go.
Yeah. It's pretty pervy, but it was fun.
Yeah. Nice.
That sounds fun.
This first story is from The Hill. I thought this was interesting. So Trump went to Michigan and says this Michigan base will stay open and get new fighter jets.
K.I. Sawyer?
What did you say?
I said, is it K.I. Sawyer or K.Y. Sawyer or whatever the hell it was?
Yep.
No.
No.
Wrong guess. Last week,
That's a
President
good
Trump
guess, Eric. That was a good
announced
guess.
that Selfridge Air National Guard Base in Michigan will receive 21 F-15EX Eagle II fighters. Newer generation jets meant to replace the installation's aging A-10 Thunderbolt IIs. Now think about that. They're replacing A-10s with F-15s? Why the hell would they
Seems like
be
a-
doing that?
Really different mission.
E's, F-15Es, you can load anything on those things.
Well, we'll get into
Like
it. So,
every type of munition, you could just throw it on there. It's like
is
a
that what it
workhorse.
is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's like the F-16 of the F-15 family.
Like the
Right.
big boys of the F-15.
Yeah. The Boeing-made aircraft will go to Selfridge after years of lobbying from Michigan lawmakers to shore up the future of the 106-year-old Harrison Township base, an installation that has an estimated $850 million impact on the state's economy. Now, this must be one hell of an Air National Guard base for $850 million impact.
Woo.
I mean,
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
that's a lot,
I
right?
remember they do a lot of, I want to say, I'm sorry, Eric, but I want to say they do a lot of security forces type exercises at Selfridge. Maybe it's
Really?
the reserves in the guard. I don't know,
It
but
could
Never heard
be.
of that.
There's
yeah, I
obviously a big. It says there's 5,000 employed at Selfridge. That's a lot,
yeah, I
right?
remember sending people there, and I want to
To
say,
Selfridge? No shit.
yeah,
Oh,
as reservists, security
yeah,
forces, if I
yeah.
remember right. I don't
Well, it
remember.
Yeah,
says
I've
it's
never heard of that place.
home to the 127th Wing of the Michigan Air National Guard. Selfridge opened in 1917 and supports an estimated 5,000 jobs.
Wow.
Last year, the base announced it would host a new squadron of Air Force KC-46A Pegasus refueling tankers meant to replace the outgoing KC-135. So obviously, some lobbyers are really making way with
Sure.
They're
supporting an
really good
air national,
lobbyers.
yeah, an Air
They get
National Guard
deals.
base.
They
So,
got
like Buckley, other aircraft at Selfridge include the Michigan Army National Guard CH-47 Chinooks, the U.S. Coast Guard, because it's right on the one of the lakes above Lake Huron. So it's not a great lake, but it's a pretty big lake. So
Reasonably impressive.
it's big.
Not great.
It's it's
when you want to
it's
own
big.
a lodge on.
The U.S. Coast Guard's HH-65 Dolphin helicopters and various other aircraft used by Customs and Border Protection, which is, enforcing that
Coast
Canadian
Guard.
border. So why'd they send F-15EXs, right? So we all kind of know what the mission of the A-10s are, close air support, pretty much, right? They can carry some other stuff, but their primary, that's that GAU, what is that? The GAU?
GAU 8.
GAU 8, right?
Yep.
So why are they putting the F-15s there? That seems like kind of silly. Well, it's because the mission of that air base is homeland defense. All right.
So China flying their hot air balloon over.
Oh, that we didn't shoot down?
So like, dang,
Good
we got to cover
point.
the north.
So if they're trying to do a homeland defense mission with A-10s, well, unless they roll some armor in, you're not going to do a lot with the A-10s. So they're getting 21 F-15EXs. So I wonder if that base is going to be like Buckley and just turn into an Air Force base, a straight up Air Force base, not a national.
Wasn't there another base in Michigan though called K.I. Sawyer or something like that?
Yeah, it was on the Upper Peninsula.
Okay.
Yeah.
The UP, as they say.
The Yoopers.
Yeah. So Governor Gretchen Whitmer, Democratic governor, but Michigan voted for Trump. So there's got to be something going on there. They made a big deal that she was out there for the announcement with Trump, had a meeting with him, and now they're going to pour all this money and armament into Michigan. So I'm sure that's behind the scenes stuff somewhere. But good on Selfridge, good on Selfridge. So those of you getting out might consider asking your TAP instructor, how do you get assigned up to a contractor job up in Selfridge, Michigan?
Selfridge, I'm sure thousands will want to go up there.
Yep.
It looks really pretty.
Lake effect snow is always great, right?
You can keep it
cold. Shit. All right, this next story is complicated, but I think I've dumbed it down for us.
Oh gosh.
I know. I started reading. I was like, "Oh, this is a good one." And then I started reading. I was like, "Oh, this is complicated. We'll see how we do on this." So, it's about a Supreme Court case. Sonia Sotomayor gives conservative justices a win in a Supreme Court case. So this is from I forgot to write it down. I think
we're going political.
I can't remember. I know. It's
Newsweek.
It's from Newsweek. Yeah, it's from Newsweek. So what is this case? Liberal Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor joined four of the highest court's conservative justices last Wednesday in a 5-4 decision requiring the federal government to provide. Now, this will be interesting. To provide individuals who serve in the military reserves equal pay to their civil servant salaries when called to active duty during a national emergency.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's a big deal. The case centered on Nick Feliciano, an FAA air traffic controller who earned less while serving almost 5 years in the Coast Guard. He did not receive differential pay during that period. Anna, did you ever hear of differential pay?
Usually the contractor company pays the differential pay if they offer it. So most of the reservists that were activated in, after 9/11, so our space contractors, they made less coming on to active duty, even as an E7 or E8.
A lot less.
And so then their contractor company just paid differential pay.
If they've
the
agreed
government
to do
didn't
it,
pay.
right?
The government did not pay
Yeah.
differential pay. But
so it's still up to you.
It was always like Booz Allen or Northrop or Raytheon. They would sign up to keep paying you whatever the difference was.
Yeah, which is above a lot. And beyond. That's
sometimes it was.
Yeah.
We saw some of those AGRs or like guys that took long-term orders. They would go like years.
Sure.
And the contractor would still be paying diff pay.
Well, and I remember people who come in on orders where their company didn't pay diff pay.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm losing money for these 2 weeks. And you're like, I know, that sucks.
Most of our airliners
get back to work.
That were pilots and co-pilots lost a lot of money too.
Oh, they did.
They eventually lost their job.
Well, thanks.
What is it called? Furloughed? They got furloughed or something?
Oh, furloughed. Yeah. And then they joined the reserves. At the heart of the case was a 2009 statute requiring differential pay for federal employees who serve as military reservists during a national emergency. That's a key. The statute was designed to offset lost wages, as often reservists earn less in uniform than in their civilian jobs. The legal question before the court was whether it is sufficient for a reservist to be called to active duty during a declared national emergency to qualify for the benefit, or if the reservist must prove, this is where it gets complicated, if the reservist must prove a substantive connection to that specific emergency. Basically, they call everything a national emergency, and you get activated, and then they're like, are you still doing national emergency stuff? That's really what the case was about. Right.
Oh.
So the Justice Gorsuch, who wrote the majority opinion, argued that a federal civilian employee called to active duty pursuant to any other provision of law during a national emergency is entitled to differential pay without having to prove that his service was substantively connected in some particular way to some particular emergency. Okay. The case the case was this
why
guy
would you be called to service without an emergency?
Well, I think the case was this guy got called up, and then after his initial thing, he went back to keep serving, but he wasn't really serving in the same capacity to fulfill the reason that he was called up initially.
Yeah, there's two different statutes, and I can't remember the two different. There's like presidential something or goodness, I can't even remember. There were two different ways that a reservist could be activated.
Okay.
And I can't remember.
Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah, I seem to remember.
Categories to that, but.
And it was like different pots of money, wasn't it?
Yep.
Isn't that the whole crux of it?
Yeah, it had to do with different pots of money and where
state
it was
versus federal paying for it.
Right.
Yeah. It was a big deal.
This guy got called up for, I think, 6 months or a year or something, but then he did it like another 4 years. And then it was like, hey, you didn't give me differential pay for these other 4 years. And the employer was like, well, you were just being active duty. You weren't really part of the emergency. And so that's why he took it to court. So some of the majority of the decision was, if you get called up in any capacity for a contingency emergency, you should be due differential pay. But the dissenting opinion, this was interesting, Justice Thomas, in his dissent, argued that this interpretation has the possibility of making nearly all military operations qualify, saying If all military operations that occur concurrent with a national emergency are contingency ops, then any military operation requiring a call to active duty service could be a contingency op, regardless of whether there was any contingency involved.
Yep.
Yeah, but is there an actual operation that they're supporting?
Well, and he went along with that. He also went on to say, this was fascinating. With the exception of a 1-year period between 1978 to 1979, the United States has had at least one national emergency in effect at all times since 1933.
Oh, geez. Well, I guess that covers it.
Almost 100 years, we've always had a national emergency.
Oh my goodness.
So it's strange credibility to think that Congress could have meant contingency operation to mean, as a practical matter, essentially every military operation.
Yeah, exactly.
But we know, being reservists, and you haven't been a reservist, Eric, I know, but being a reservist, we kind of muddle those definitions to get that pay so we can come on orders, and maybe that's okay, but maybe it's not.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, just an actual example of something that happens all the time. When we used to fly, if you spent 1 minute as soon as you crossed the border into a war zone,
right. Yeah.
then it instantly, that whole
Tax-free.
month was tax free.
Right.
So we saw, I mean,
I love
heard
that
about
though.
multiple
cool.
aircrafts just going slightly into a border, and then they're like,
yeah, they're
all
like,
right, boys, tax-free.
Look at that.
Not
Yeah.
only that, like people that had bonuses, they were
Oh yeah.
flying into these hostile areas and re-enlisting there, and they got
Yep.
tax-free
Yeah.
You know,
bonuses.
and you stayed in a
Smart.
hotel room. It was pretty scary staying at those hotel rooms, getting
Yeah.
room service.
Well, if you go to CENTCOM, I remember
Exactly.
CENTCOM was always debated. Are you going to theater? Yeah, I'm going to CENTCOM. That's Homestead Air Force Base, Florida.
Yeah, that's freaking.
MacDill.
That's Tampa Stan. Get
Or
the fuck out
MacDill,
of here.
yeah. That's Special Ops Base.
Yeah,
And
dude,
outside of
Tampa
Tampa
Stan.
Bay. Right. Tampa Stan. Yeah.
Yeah, get out of here.
I used to get so jealous though. I'd be like, oh, all these operators, they get these
Did
bonuses.
you make that noise too?
Yeah.
Yes.
Rage.
Oh,
Ooh.
Curse
in the
you,
wrong career
operators.
field.
She was typing hard. God, orders, bonus, tax-free.
Yeah.
I was doing orders all the way up until I retired, by the way,
Are you
Literally.
serious?
as a
Oh
space
my
officer.
God, they pulled you back to do orders because nobody knew how to do it. Is that right?
Where they couldn't
Am
get
I-
a person to do them.
Oh, you're so nice. You're too nice.
No.
Anna.
No,
Good that you get a retirement check now.
These people
Time
I'll
and a
feel
half.
cut that crap.
bad for them, and they needed to let their companies know, like, come on, holding up responsibility, just do it.
Come on.
All right,
Leadership
last
these
story.
days.
Last story. What do you think? Okay, I'm going to piss some people off because I remember I pissed
Oh, my.
this guy over at the Buckley Fitness Center. What was that guy's name? Who was like, I'm going back to PJ school, right? He went to PJ
yeah.
school. He broke his leg. He
Yeah.
got out, and then he was like the fitness guy administering PT tests at Buckley. You know what I'm
Yep.
talking about?
Yeah.
No, I'm getting a ship. I'm going back to PJ school.
He would ride his bicycle down Colfax like
Yes.
14
Yes.
miles. Like he lived downtown.
Dude, you're in a combat zone riding your bike on Colfax. he should get
Yeah.
special duty pay.
He should.
Also, fire pay.
National emergency.
So I've always kind of looked side eye to Air Force Special Operations. Right? I did. I never could understand why PJ's got to do water training. Why are we doing so much water training? Right?
But don't
I mean,
PJ rescue
if-
astronauts?
I don't know
Yeah.
why we got
Rescuing
Navy
astronauts.
guys who are perfectly they're in
You got
water from day
coasties that
one.
are too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd assume all you need is some kind of diver.
Right. So why the Air Force doing it? I always thought Air Force Special Ops was just so the Air Force general on the chief of staff, or not the chief of staff, but the staff up there could go, we got special ops too.
You think
Right.
Space Force is going to come up with a spatial husband?
Well, let me tell you what, Space Force will
I
get
don't mean
its
to giggle.
own special
Mean to
This is
operations
such a
element.
bunch of caca.
That was such a good setup on it. Perfect. So from sandbox.com, Space Force will get its own special operations element. I'll tell you the funniest part of this
They
story.
can't even fit in their uniform. You want
Stop
them to
it,
go to
Eric.
special
Stop
ops.
it. Stop it.
Well,
I think it's cool.
Reserve all
Give 'em a
criticism till
moment.
the end.
Let that way they drink all the protein drinks.
In recent written testimony before Congress, the commander of U.S. Special Operations Command, SOCOM Command, the commander, revealed that the military's newest service was getting its own special operations element. Testifying to a panel of the House Armed Services Committee in April, General Brian Fenton said that SOCOM is partnering with the U.S. Space, Cyber, and Strategic Commands, quote, to advance the convergence of soft space and cyber effects, a collaboration he called a critical nexus, Eric, a critical nexus.
what a bunch of caca.
So there's space and cyber
They're going to be special ops guys.
special ops guys.
So it's
Yeah,
all
they're going
your
to do it from
nav
home.
warfare. All your
It's
nav
all
warfare,
based on
all
home.
That's okay.
your weapon patch guys in space.
Right. Absolutely. It's coming. It's coming.
I'm sure they'll be airborne qualified.
What are they, electronic
frickin-
warfare? Like what? I don't understand what.
The article didn't really explain it. It just says it's coming. Right?
Are they going to be shooters?
It
No.
didn't. It didn't. They don't need to shoot, Eric. They don't need to shoot bullets.
They have
That's
lasers.
That's
They
so
have
20th
lasers.
century.
Come on.
We're going to call them
Lasers, Eric.
shooters.
We Space
They
Force
use
can just
dazzlers.
You're not going to be able to get this one through, man. It's
Space
just not
Special
gonna
Force
go through.
dazzlers.
can disrupt the timing on your bank account. How about that?
Boom.
You talk about hitting where it hurts. Yeah, your finances don't work. Sorry, ATM card no go, Eric,
GP.
because we decided to turn it off. There you go.
And we're going to call him a special operator.
Yes.
Okay.
Impact
He hefty up pretty good,
Operations
don't you think?
that are specially operated. It's operated.
Just keep going, Ella. Where are you going to end up? Keep going.
I'm
They're
not sure
super
he'll have to
special.
camouflage his face to do that. You know.
You don't need to. All you're going to see is the big seeing eye, Eric.
Yeah.
That's the last
Well, if we
thing
don't
you'll see.
need to, why are we going to call him a special operator then?
Eric, it's going to be
Because-
so hardcore. Their AC is only going to be set to 78.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
78.
Yeah.
And no
Now we're
lumbar
talking.
support, you bitches. They have to do all operations on like Baptist church potluck chairs.
They're going to have to unzip their
The ones with the
flight,
foam
their,
that's been ripped and
their flight
lost
suit. They have
out.
to unzip their flight suit
Yeah.
a little bit.
What are you talking about?
Eric,
They're going to need special shoes for
it's,
this.
you don't have to be physical to be a warrior nowadays. Don't you understand that? Right.
All you got to use is your brains.
Yeah, I do. But let's not call him a warrior.
I didn't.
You just did.
Special
well,
ops.
fair enough. But
Special
the
ops.
commander of special ops says we need Space Force special operators.
He's a dork, too. Just
Let's see. This is the best part. All right.
He's a
Um,
dork too.
What's that guy's rank?
Dork too.
4-star, but he's a dork.
he's a dork.
In a statement provided to Sandbox News, the Space Force spokesman said the service was standing up service components for all the combatant commands, including U.S. Indo-Pacific Command, Central Command, Europe, Africa Command, Space Command, and Korea and Japan. These stand-ups are a critical step in normalizing the presentation of space forces and providing clarity of command relationships, roles, and responsibilities in the joint force and across all theaters. Still doesn't say what they're going to say, what they're going to do, right? This is the best part.
Yeah.
The general said there is no
General
definite
Brian
timeline.
Fenton.
Fenton
General Brian
said
Fenton.
Dork.
there is- As- that was Eric Perrott. There is no definite timeline associated with the stand-up of other service components, including Space Force service components of SOCOM. But the Space Force will continue to identify requirements to meet the growing demands of combatant commanders' space needs. So basically, they're going to be GPS guys out there. They're going to be like...
There's going to be a handful of liaisons, space nerd liaisons,
all going to be
special ops,
right?
I believe they'll be servicing the other special operators.
Yeah, that makes us extra special.
We're special operators.
First level special,
was a low,
second level up,
was a low
extra
shot
special.
there. That was a good one, actually.
I was shocked, Eric. You actually came up with that, and I was like, oh.
So he goes on to say, Guardians do not deploy to their area of responsibility, that is space, and their limited range of military operational specialties, which includes satellite operations, cyber, and intel specialties and acquisition. That means it makes less sense for Guardians to develop special operations specific job specialties like physical fitness, as the other services have, for example, with the SEALs or the Special Forces. However, there's so much technical stuff out there that's all run space-based that all these lead catchers can't do without the space guys.
That's
Right?
called support. The lead catchers don't order their own shoes.
That's
they don't
right.
plan their own routes.
That's
they don't
true.
do. They have intel. That's support. Those aren't special ops people.
They don't
They're
go.
people assigned to the special ops.
Got your back on this one, Jay.
Going back to what I said originally, it might just be so we give this guy the ability to go, oh, we got special ops too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all about
Look
funding.
at this patch.
I just sprinkled.
Well,
some
we did have that first
on
guy
there.
graduate Ranger
It's
School.
all about funding. That's right. Yeah.
Remember that news
The
article?
Space Ranger, right? The Space Ranger.
Yep.
He's doing all kinds of Ranger stuff
That
too, I'm
goes
sure.
to building his credibility amongst that community that he's going to support.
He's the same as a weapons officer. He gets
Are
back
we
and they're
talking
like,
about Buzz Lightyear? What is his name?
No,
Buzz Lightyear.
there was a handful of
Space
active.
Ranger. What are we talking about?
Buzz Lightyear.
butt ear. Nice.
Buzz Lightyear.
No, there
His
was
name
a
is-
guy who was assigned to the Space Force. I think he was a captain who, for whatever reason, they said, hey, you can go to Ranger School. And he made it through Ranger School. So he's Army Ranger tabbed as a Space Force captain.
Yeah, he needs it. Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
that was the biggest waste of money. He's like, why? Why? Who was below the cut list and said, oh, you almost made it, but we had to give it to this space guy? That would suck, right?
Oh my goodness.
Eric,
Big time.
you're so put off right now.
I
Why
am.
don't you just celebrate it, man?
From the beginning,
Celebration.
I have disagreed with the whole Space Force crap because when Space Command came out, that was supposed to accommodate all the requirements, all the need.
I know.
And now Trump wants to come out with his own force.
That's not Trump. That's not Trump. That's the commander of SOCOM. All right.
I'm not talking about
talking
the
about Space Force
I'm talking
as
about
a
Space
whole.
Force in a whole.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
creating it. Yeah.
That's
I
because
don't
the Air
understand
Force
it.
got tired of paying for those
Yeah.
those
Right.
systems. That's all
They
it
didn't
is.
want their budget
The Air
shaved
Force
off.
is like,
Yeah.
why are we paying for these GPS satellites when
Right.
I could buy 48,000 F-35s?
Okay, I'm tracking with that.
They're
That makes
like,
sense.
F
It's all
those
money.
guys,
Yeah,
go
it's all
go
money.
give them their own thing.
It's the same thing
So-
why the Army separated out the Army Air Force. And made
I
them their
want to
own
be
system.
an Air Force Space Ranger.
It's almost like a security forces guy playing football and being a stinger that he never shot.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Ooh, I
He
was
basically
critical.
just called you
I
Taps
was
and Blue.
critical
To that.
to the mission.
And these guys are too, Eric. Eric. We're all part of the same. We're all pulling the same rope. Come on
Eric.
board for the big win, Eric. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, boy.
You know how much
I don't have
morale
to anymore.
Taps and
I don't
Blue
have to.
raises?
Taps.
All the morale.
That's the
I
beauty
haven't
of
heard
retirement.
That's what.
That's the beauty of
That's
retirement.
basically what Marty just called you, Eric.
I know.
I know.
Taps and Blue.
I know.
However, I support a guy going like all Air Force going to play football more than I support a guy who's gone for a year because he went to Taps and Blue. It's like this guy was assigned here. What's he doing? Oh, he's singing.
He's over there
You're like-
singing. Ooh, he's gonna set
That's why I'm
stuff up.
pulling 3 extra shifts because that guy's out there singing.
That's important. It's critical.
He's going
critical.
to Qatar. Nobody in Qatar wants to see him. They just want the
Critical.
one extra drink
That's
card.
right.
That's all they want.
We want the cheerleaders. Bring the cheerleaders.
Boo. Boo that man and his talent.
Critical.
Get him off stage.
Mm. We have
All
reached
right,
an all-time low.
Why don't you lift our spirits back up with some U.S. military history?
Okay. I like it. So tonight's history.
I have
Airplane.
never seen Mr. History so flabbergasted, so frustrated.
Here's
The whole
good.
Space Force thing blows me away, but we'll talk about that for later. I need a whiskey when I do that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So airplanes, World War II. Tell me what
All
you
right.
guys think some of the workhorses of World War II airplanes were.
Lift
Not bombers,
or
fighters. Fighters.
fighters
For us.
Postal.
for us.
Post.
For us.
Postal.
Our side.
bad at this.
The
U.S. Postal Service.
No, what
That's a-
airframe?
That's an airplane?
What's
don't
what
know.
you're
airframes
talking
were
talking
important in
fighters.
World War
though,
II.
right? You
Shut
want
out,
fighters.
Marty.
I'm talking
Postal
fighter
Service
air-
did work hard. I agree with you.
Okay, I'm
Fighters,
Fighters.
F4U Corsair had to be right.
Good one, but not a hardcore workhorse.
What?
Spit- was
it carried
Spitfire
the whole
one of ours?
Pacific. The Marines were all over.
Spitfire was a British aircraft.
Yeah, right.
English. Good plane, though.
P-51,
Really good
Mustang.
airplane.
but it came in late in the war.
Came in
it
later in the
came
war,
late,
that's right. So the one I'm going to talk about tonight,
C-130.
you'd have to go
It's been
C-47.
around since that early days.
U.S. Mail Piper Cub.
How about I tell you the nickname?
All right, go.
The Jug. J-U-G.
The Jug. Never
The
heard
Jug.
of it. Never heard of it.
Seems like one big.
All right. So this was considered the workhorse
That's on Ibiza.
of World War II. And its maiden flight, the very first flight, was May 6, 1941.
Whoa.
Wow.
All right.
15,600 of these aircraft had been built, cementing its legacy as a true workhorse for the United States Army Air Force. The P-47 Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt.
You don't even think about that as being one of the main hardcore fighters.
It
that took
wasn't
on
a
the
great
Messerschmitt.
fighter, but we produced so many of them at the beginning, right?
Well, according to what I'm reading, it was a great fighter. It was able to knock down a number of Messerschmitts in one-on-one combat.
The
Aerial combat.
Thunderbolt. Oh, I
So,
had no idea.
nicknamed the
That got-
Jug, the P-47 was one of the most famous and iconic fighter planes in the United States Army Air Forces during World War II. Originally conceived as a lightweight interceptor, the P-47 Thunderbolt evolved into a formidable heavyweight fighter that made its first flight on 6 May 1941. The first production model was delivered to the United States Air Force in March of 42, and in April 43, the Thunderbolt flew its first combat mission, which was a sweep over Western Europe. Renowned for its ruggedness, the P-47 was utilized as both a high-altitude escorter fighter and a low-level fighter bomber, able to absorb severe battle damage and continue flying thanks to its sturdy construction and air-cooled radial engine. So it was the pre-A-10.
Yeah, because the A-10's name is the Thunderbolt 2.
Roger that.
It's not
That's
really a
where it came
warhog.
from.
It's not a hog. It's the Thunderbolt
Whoa, very good.
There was the connection. Good call, Jake. Good stuff. So that was history. I also want to throw one that was not U.S. military. May 6, 1937, Hindenburg.
Oh,
Aw.
yeah.
Killed 35, one on the ground. I think
That
there
was
were,
on May 6th.
yep,
Oh,
I saw
the
that on the Led
humanity.
Zeppelin album.
1937.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Just thought I'd throw that out.
That's a
Wasn't
good
that in
one.
New? Was that in New Jersey? Where was that?
It
New
was.
Jersey. Yeah, very
That's-
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there
You
were
know-
like 98 passengers, 37 killed. No, 36 killed. One on the ground was killed for a total of 37, and the rest survived.
Because the blimp was a hydrogen blimp. Is that right?
Correct.
That's
And
crazy.
they believe that a spark lit the hydrogen. Now, there's two synopses. One, that it was in the storm, a storm that was sparking.
Yeah.
And then the other one was, what do they call the lights that have electricity in it?
Aurora?
The Northern Lights.
A light.
That's what
The
I
North-
said.
Yeah,
The
Aurora
Aurora.
Borealis.
Oh,
Is that what it's
really?
called? Okay. The Northern
Yeah.
Lights then, yeah.
Just 'cause
They believe
Jake's
that might
in
have caused it.
Wow, good
Exactly.
job on it.
it.
But no sabotage, none of that. It was
No,
a
it
spark.
was a,
Great
yeah, it was
genitals.
an accident, right?
Right.
God, that's crazy. May 6th. Wait. Go back to the jug.
Yep.
Right. What was the date on that? And what was the associated event? Is that when it was first rolled off the line?
Correct. That was its maiden voyage in 41.
Oh, okay.
And then 43, it ran its first, April of 43, it flew its first combat mission, which was the sweep of Western Europe.
Wow.
It became renowned for its ruggedness, high altitude escort fighter, and the low level fighter bomber.
Very cool, man. Very cool.
It also became one of the first pilots for it wanted an Indian chief head painted on its nose.
Oh, yeah.
And it became called Chief SKI U-MAH. Chief Skiuma.
Huh.
No, it's got to be.
It came off of the nickel, the Indian head nickel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
So they painted that nose art on there, on the Thunderbolt.
So cool.
Could carry 2,500 pounds of bombs, making it a versatile platform capable of both air-to-air and, check this out, 6 or 8 50 cal machine guns.
6 or 8?
Shit.
It could carry 6 or 8.
How's it,
That's a whole lot of firepower. While Deuce
how's
is
it not
barking.
stalling out if it's
Yeah, no kidding.
It's got to only be like shooting 2 at a time.
Dude.
I guess.
And once they're out of ammo.
50 cals. God dang.
The aircraft was armed with a potent array of firepower, featuring 6 or 8 50 caliber machine guns. It could carry up to 2,500 pounds of bombs, making it versatile for air-to-air and air-to-ground.
Do you see any of those in air shows?
A P-
Uh,
I'm
what
gonna
was
have
it?
to go over to the World War II museum over by the airport and see if they have any Thunderbolts in there.
Thunderbolts.
It's big. It's a big aircraft.
It's got a big old nose.
I thought at first you were talking about like the Hellcat and the Wildcat. You know, you don't hear much about the Thunderbolt, really.
Well, and because the ones you just spoke about fought mainly in the Pacific.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, they were carrier jets. Or I didn't really know
Yeah,
about
that's a good
other than a P-51 in Europe.
What were the?
Yeah, the
what were
Pacific
the-
doesn't get as much credit as.
No, and it was
Like,
more air
yeah.
war than anything, right?
Yeah.
What was the Fighting Tigers? What were those planes? You know,
Oh.
like 39, 40,
Why are you scratching?
37, I think.
even that early as 37. Wow.
Yeah, I want to say, I'll tell you.
P-40s. P-40s.
Tomahawks, right?
P-40 Tomahawk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. P-40
That was a pretty
Warhawk.
badass airplane, too.
Yeah. So nice, Eric. Good to have
Right
you
on.
back with that history. You know, I don't know if you watched last week's episode, but we gave history up to Chief Zayats.
Yeah.
She was doing
Yeah.
she was doing good, but you know what? She slipped in there and she goes, "Oh, and here's another history thing. This is when Ellen DeGeneres came out as gay. I was like, no, stop it. But she slipped that in at the end of the episode. It's like I was doing a piss poor job of gatekeeping there. So anyway, that was good. That was good. You guys have yeah. I'm at a loss. It's just great to be back with you guys. Good to see you. Did you guys check out the website, lateforchangeover.com? I know Eric did.
Man.
You guys didn't respond to me. Did you see it? Have you seen it? Oh, you did? Go look at it?
I think so.
My son thought it was cool. I sent it to a couple friends. They thought it was pretty awesome.
Jake is frozen. Oh, he's back. Okay.
And I'm
good.
back.
He just kind of freezes up in general.
I know. But he does it in such a
He
casual
stares
way.
off
I'm
like
Because I was listening
I'm
and
kinda
looking up. So
is he
when I
breathing?
zone out, I'm reading the Thunderbolt's history stuff.
Oh, okay.
so was
And I'm
I.
like,
That's
one
what I
of
was
the
doing
best.
today.
Yeah, two Medal of Honor winners for World War II.
Bill
fought
Dunham?
in the
Thunderbolt.
Knight and Kirby. And,
No
yeah,
way.
and- yeah.
We got to think of a category. I'd like to get back to where we're doing our all pro. We got to think of a new category
Yeah.
to pick out. We went
That
through
was
so
fun.
many.
That was
a
fun.
blast every time we did it. So we got to think of a new category.
This guy took on 22 aerial victories before he was shot down and killed.
Wow.
22.
Damn,
Could you
dude.
imagine
22
just
aerial victories.
every
That's not happening
encounter?
in Europe.
Every encounter could be your last. That's crazy.
Yeah.
How are they not all alcoholics? I don't know. I mean, you get back and you'd be like,
They probably were.
look at that plane. That plane is chewed up. I made it. I'm drinking tonight. I don't know. How
That
you,
is
I don't know. how you
crazy.
wouldn't. We could potentially have next week Eric's friend.
Nice.
What's her name? Katie.
Cam.
Katie
It's-
Camp?
Carrie Karen or Cam Karen or something. Met her on the golf course. She works for Field of Honor.
right?
Folds of Honor.
Folds of Honor.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we might be
Perfect.
able to get her on the podcast next week. So we
She's
have
really
guests.
cool.
Yeah.
I think she'll be highly entertaining.
And if we do, don't worry, I'll forward you all out the background information that you guys can fully ignore like you normally do.
Probably
So,
will.
yeah.
Disregard. But don't worry, I don't have it automatically sent to disregard. I take pride in going, Marty said this is
Disregard.
bullshit.
Let me
Disregard.
move this. I don't know, just be like, oh, I didn't read it. I saw it.
Yeah, I didn't read it.
Which is funny because when she first came on, she was like, oh, I read all the articles. But it only lasted one episode. And then the next
yeah.
episode is like,
Yeah.
That's my level of effort. Honest
well,
level of effort.
but you were so enthusiastic at first, but then these two guys corrupted you, and you were like,
Don't.
oh,
No.
I don't have to read anything. I could just go along with the
Yeah,
flow.
because Marty's just gonna pull us along anyways.
I know. I know. But think how good we could be if we all contributed.
Oh, we tried.
Right.
There
I
was a
should be
moment.
Great.
There was not.
There was a short period of time.
I'll do it quarterly.
What are you talking
Yeah.
about? This is your quarterly show. You're going to be off for
Yeah,
like
you
the next
participate
5.
quarterly. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Nice.
right, tell us one last joke before we go, Anna. Come on, you got one.
Joke?
Tell us one of Jimmy's jokes.
No. I gotta think of one. I don't know.
All
I
right.
don't have anything. Not on the
Wait
spot.
All right.
Way to let us down. I appreciate
Well, I got one here.
it. Hey, you know how to make
So-
a hormone?
No. You either pay her more or don't.
You don't
pay
pay
her
her.
at all.
Or
Either one.
do you know when she's full?
Oh,
That is so gross.
It is
Hey,
disgusting.
Marty.
It is
Which she has
disgusting.
yes,
It is
sir.
super disgusting.
she has a runny nose.
What do you
Eric,
call a woman with only one leg?
Pegasus.
Eileen.
I
You know
like
what you
Peg.
call? You know what you call her in Chinese? Irene.
Irene.
Leave it to the guy who has a prosthetic leg to know the answer to that.
I've had that loaded for years, just waiting for the opportunity. Just waiting for it.
Eileen. If you had a twin sister.
Eileen and Irene.
Eileen. It's Marty and his twin sister, Eileen.
On behalf of all of us here, I'd like to thank you for listening today. Please like, share, subscribe. Hey, we're 97 subscribers. So if you could do us a favor, 3 more of you, and we get to 100, which means nothing except that it's 100. And make sure. Oh wait, please like, share, subscribe. Let us know how we did
Oh,
the
I thought
comments.
you already did that.
And make sure next week that you are not.
I like the beer.
That was you.
I know.
She's like, I'm so funny. Did you hear me? I'm so funny.
So good to be back. And everyone
Because of the noise.
watching and listening.
That's why it was so funny.
Thanks for listening and watching. And we'll see you next week.
See you guys.
You
It's
guys are
always
all
fun, man.
quiet.